10 of our 75-day LeetCode coding challenge. And today we are going to solve our next problem statement, max number of k-sum pairs. Let's start. You are given an integer array nums and an integer k. In one operation, you can pick two numbers from the array whose sum equals k and remove them from the array. Return the maximum this is the array nums 1, 2, 3, 4 and this is the value of k. We need to find the pair that sums equal to k and we need to remove those pair. And we need to count how many operations we are performing. So for this first test case 1, 2 and 3 and 4, our k value is 5. So we can remove first and the last index element. 1 plus 4 is 5. So after removing 1 plus 4 is 5, removing first and the last index, our new array becomes 2 and 3. And 2 plus 3 is also 5, so we can remove 2 and 3 also. Now our array is empty. And we have performed the operation 2 times. First removing 1 and 4 and then removing 2 and 3. So answer for this test case is 2. Similarly, let's try to solve our second test case. K is equal to 6. We can remove first and the third index, and also we can remove first and the fifth index, whatever. We can remove any one of them. Let's remove first and third, and our new array become 1, 4 and 3. Now, there no element exists, there no pair exists whose sum is equal to k. So the number of operations we have performed is 1. One thing to understand is, if let's say x is an element, correct, and there is a k minus x also, right, because there is an x and there is also other element k minus x that makes equal to k. So for this first test case, if there is a 1, if we do 5 minus 1, 4, if there are any 4 exists in the array, we know that there is some pair, the pair exists. Similarly, if there is a 2, 2 minus 5 is equal to 3. If there are any 3 exist in the array, then we know the pair exists. So we say x comma k minus x. So whatever is minimum between the count of x and count of k minus x, we can append it, we can add it to our answer. What is the meaning of count? Basically, I am saying the frequency of that particular element. So suppose if suppose our k is 5 and the frequency of our 1 is 3 and our frequency of 4 is 2, then how many pair we can make out of it? It will be 2, right? 1 and 4 and 1 and 4, and then if we make do the operation, then the result will be only 1 will remain, 1, and 4, and all 4 will be consumed, correct? So one thing we can derive is whatever the frequency count of x and k minus x, whatever is minimum, we can add it to the answer, correct? But to find the count of x or count of k minus x, we need to use hash map data structure. So the trick to solve this problem statement is to use the hash map data structure to store the frequency of the element and then computing the answer. So if we are encountering our x element and if map as k minus x element in it, basically map has a key that have k minus x element, we can decrement the frequency. of k minus x. Basically now we are consuming 1k minus x to make a pair, to decrement the frequency of k minus x. And else, so basically for this x, there is k minus x exists, so we have decremented the frequency and made the pair. And we can do answer plus plus. Else we can add our increment the frequency of x. So map of x plus plus. So if there any element, this is our element. If there is an element x and if k minus x exists in that map, decrement the frequency of k minus x and increment our answer. Basically, we have formed one pair because we had x and we have also found k minus x. And if we do not found k minus x, we can increment the x frequency. There no pair exists, right? And maybe in the future, when we're incrementing frequency, when we are computing k minus x, this x is found, and then we can decrement it. Let's write the code. Let's write the code for the pseudo code, and let's try to understand it from there. So I'm deleting all this. First, we are iterating over our array. And this is our answer variable. We need to define the hash map of type integer, comma, integer map equal to new hash map. Let's find the subtraction of k minus num. Let's find the subtraction of k minus num. One more thing to know, all the elements in nums are positive only. And if any number is going greater than k value, then obviously there will be no pair exist for that. So suppose the value of k is 9, but we are getting an element as a value 10, and there is no negative element exists in the array, right? So basically, as soon as if num value goes greater than k, simply continue that particular iteration. It will unnecessarily consume the map processing. We do not want to do processing when the number that is coming is greater than the k value. So we found the subtraction value of k minus num, and we are saying if our map contain that particular key or not. So basically our map is calculating the frequency of the number. So if map contain that particular key, so here we are finding our k minus x value that we have to turn down. So k minus num subtraction, if map contains our subtraction value, now we found a pair here. If it exists, we found a pair. Now we need to simply decrement that particular key value, basically decrementing the that element value. So if our map dot get key of that subtraction is equal to 1, if there's only one element exists, we can simply remove that particular key. Else decrement the frequency. So map dot put subtraction as a key and map dot get subtraction as a key minus 1. So we have decremented the frequency. So here we can write decremented things decrementing the frequency by 1. Both cases. Now, if the k minus x value do not exist, what we have to do? We simply need to add this key. We hadn't found the pair. So if this else condition is executing, we can say pair is not found. And what we do if the pair is not found? Simply increase the frequency of that particular number. The map dot put nums comma map dot get or default. So there can be case if that particular key can be exist or it cannot, or it does not exist. So we can use get or default function. If that particular key exist it is fine. If it do not exist, simply return 0 and increment the frequency. So if it doesn't exist, we can simply set it to 1. If it exists, we can increment the frequency. And also when we found our pair, you also need to do answer plus plus. For one pair, we have simply increase the answer and let's return our answer. Let's run the test case. So our test case is working. Let's submit the solution part. So our submission is also working. Thanks for joining the session. Let's meet tomorrow.